And I will now turn it over to our Governor-elect Fran.
Well, welcome everybody, and we're going to now turn it over to Brian, who is my go-to guy at Kiwanis.
This will go quickly. This will go quickly. So, good evening, everybody. I'm Brian Tenclinger. I serve as the Area Director Manager, and the department I work in is Global Membership and Education. Kind of a confusing piece, but our department is responsible for all of the membership and education Kiwanis International around the globe, and that is our adult clubs. And so I manage the team that works specifically with our district governors, our district membership coordinators, our governors-elect, district secretaries, kind of the who's who in the districts. And our job is to be kind of generalists about Kiwanis International and be available by phone, email, as much as possible to answer questions. So literally the 1-800 number for Larry, now Sarah, and to be Fran. So what I was asked to do is just give you a brief overview of Kiwanis International. This should not be anything new, but maybe just a quick reminder. For so many of you, the Michigan district is going to be, a lot of your time, but just a gentle reminder that we are an international organization. So Sue? So
it takes just a second before it flips. So
okay, the clubs are the core of our membership. So if you look at, this is my version of a globe. If you look at our Kiwanis family, the clubs are the whole reason why we exist. Above the clubs are the divisions. So as lieutenant governors, you get to oversee the division and all the clubs within. And then above that is the district. And then above that is the international structure. So Kiwanis is international. We currently exist in 80 different countries around the globe. We have 7 official languages that we utilize on any given day. And we are very excited to slowly be expanding that. We were in a pretty aggressive expansion in Africa, and that has obviously since slowed down just a little bit. But if you look internationally, the 2 countries that are newest to our Kiwanis family and growing rapidly, or were as of March 8th, are Nepal and in Africa. So pretty exciting for us. When you look on the peripheral, on the outside, we do maintain 1 international office and then a European office. So our international headquarters is in Indianapolis. And then we maintain, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, we have a European office in Ghent, Belgium. Sue, you've probably been there before, yep. I guess. Yep. And the European office is 5 people. And they work with all of the Kiwanis clubs in the European family, or what they call the European Federation. If you're a Star Trek fan, that'll resonate. I don't understand why they do that, but they do. We also have, we did have an office in, I want to say Taipei, Taiwan. We had an office in Taipei. That has since closed, but we do have an employee, if you will, who is in Taipei, who does a lot of the translation for us, and she's kind of our liaison between the clubs in the Asia Pacific region, specifically those that speak Mandarin, which would be Taiwan. Well, Taiwan is Mandarin, but we have a lot of clubs that understand Mandarin in South Korea, so forth and so on. So for a lieutenant governor, you are going to be in charge of that center, that second center ring, and that's the division. So you've got a nice hierarchy within to work with. Fran will, of course, be the district governor, and then she will report on to the international. So next slide. You can download, and this was something I'd recommend as a good idea for lieutenant governors. If you go to kiwanis.org/about, there's a great landing page there about all of the facts about Kiwanis International. And there is a 2-page document called Just the Facts. It gets updated a couple times each year, and a PDF is put on that website, the About website. I would recommend as Lieutenant Governor that you download and print a couple of these and keep it in whatever you will be using as you travel to visit your clubs. It's a great piece to have with you as a quick reference about what is Kiwanis, where is our impact, what are some of the key numbers that you would need to be able to rattle off the top of your head if you're being interviewed by the media or recruiting a potential new member to join a new club in your division. And it's just actually a pretty neat document. So I want to take a quick dive into that document and give you some of those numbers. So next slide. This is a snapshot of some of the numbers from the Just the Facts document. So as of, I think this was last printed in January, so January 2020, we have over 500,000 adult and youth members. So the adult would be the Kiwanis, and then youth would be our Circle K, Key Club, Builders Club, Action Club, so that we consider them youth. So we are just over 500,000 members in the K family. We have more than 8,000 adult clubs around the globe, and even just as close, more than 8,000 youth clubs around the globe. Some fun facts for you to know is that on average, Kiwanians provide 19 million hours of service around the globe in one calendar year, or one Kiwanis year. And that's reported. So every month, the club secretaries are asked to go online and complete a monthly club report. And in that club report is, can you track the number of hours of service that your club members have done? And so reported is 19 million. We are fairly confident that that number is actually higher, but we can only go on the numbers that are reported. That breaks down to more than 152,000 different service projects that take place around the globe. Some of the service projects look the same, and you may hear about them as you travel through your division, of course, but also through the district. The pancake breakfasts, the 4th of July celebrations, the holiday celebrations, clothing drives. A lot of those tend to be common in communities, but we have a lot of communities that have what we call a signature project, something that makes them stand out or is extremely important to that community. I look to one of those projects each year happens in the Southwest District in the state of New Mexico, and it is the burning of, oh Sue, I'm blanking on the name.
It'll come to me.
It's more than 500,000 people that come together.
Yes, yeah.
Annual tradition. It's the burning of this effigy, essentially, that in the Native American custom releases the bad vibes and the bad memories, and the ashes float up into the sky to dissipate. It's sponsored by the Kiwanis Club in Santa Fe. It's going to drive me nuts. It's got a very unique name to it, but that would be a good example of a signature project. So I'm excited for you as Lieutenant Governors to start to travel. Zozobra. Thank you, Greg Smith.
Zozobra, yeah.
Yeah, Zozobra, Z-O-Z-O-B.
Yep.
Zozobra. If you are a fan of YouTube, you can type in YouTube Kiwanis Zozobra and watch videos of this. This thing is huge. It's pretty cool. So a couple of other numbers. Our clubs raise US dollars. We report in US dollars because we're headquartered in the United States. We raise $133 million to help children and communities in one calendar year. That's a lot of money that goes back into the communities. And that's pretty cool. The number 162 is also something we can report. So each Kiwanian, based on the number of hours of service, the projects that are completed, every Kiwanis member that we can recruit will have the opportunity to impact 162 children in their community every single year. So if you have a hard time convincing someone to join, you can let them know statistically 162 children may benefit from your service by joining Kiwanis. You may not meet 162 children, during your time as a Kiwanian, but the dollars you're raising, the hours that you're putting in, that's helping a lot of children in our community. And community can be your backyard, such as East Lansing, Michigan, but it also could be the division community, the district community, however you define it. So those are some of the fun numbers that I like to share with lieutenant governors. Usually when we do this, we're in front of each other and you can watch the look, you know, sometimes eyes just kind of light up because they're like, I had no idea. Hopefully you'll use this as a landing page as you go out and get to give speeches and help. So let's break that down to the Michigan district. Next slide. Here we go. It's coming up. There we go. So these are just the facts number about the Michigan district, and some of them have varying report dates just because the way that we report. So Michigan district, it's fairly large. It's fairly large. As of March 31st, more than 4,000 members in 160 clubs, and you've got a huge Key Club presence. You probably know this, but you have more than 5,000 high school students reported in 131 Key Clubs around the state. That's huge. That is huge. Fun fact, our largest concentration of Key Club students is in Las Vegas. We have more than 10,000 Key Clubbers in the Las Vegas metropolitan area. That is a lot of high school students involved in Key Club. And if you can imagine just that Las Vegas rally, a Key Club rally, they have to reserve an arena typically, or a casino in Vegas to do this. When they bring all those high school kids together, it is a show. It is a show. You'll see a couple numbers are listed as not reported, Builders Club and K Kids. We do not collect contact information about the youth that are not in high school programs. So our elementary and middle school program for safety, security, child protection purposes, we do not collect the number of youth at the international level that are involved. We do collect the number of clubs. So we know how many clubs are chartered and operational in elementary and middle or junior high schools. And for Michigan, that you've got quite a few there. You have a very nice action club presence, 28 clubs throughout the state, which is a lot. That's a lot of action clubs with 437 members. So you've got a great presence. If you ever want a live snapshot of where these numbers are, I've put the link on the bottom of the page. It's public. We don't hide this, or it's not password protected. You just have to know how to get to it through our member resources tab. And you can view any other district if you are curious to know what they're doing in the Carolinas district. Maybe you have a friend who's a Kiwanian in Charlotte, North Carolina, and you're curious. You can view any of those numbers at any given time. Those district reports some of them are updated monthly, specifically the membership numbers, and some of them are updated annually, so on September 30th of each year. And it'll tell you as you click through the various reports. But it's a neat website to have to take a look at. So let's move to the next one. So in our Michigan Kiwaniverse, this is what the reporting structure would look like, if you will. So Art Riley will be the international president, and then below Art, well, of course, there's the Kiwanis International Board. I kind of left them off, but that's okay. Sue, don't tell. But reporting directly to Art will be your district governor, Fran. And then Fran has an entourage. She has a team of people who are working to support her and elevate her up. And that would be her lieutenant governor class, the district board, the various committee chairs, and of course the club presidents, club officers. And then she has background singers, and that would be Greg, myself, and whoever's going to be announced as their board counselor. So on the sidelines, Greg and I are to serve the district and to help as much as possible. And then we have someone called a KI board counselor. Every member of the Kiwanis International Board is asked to counsel a district around the globe. And that counselor will be announced at the International Convention this June. So once the election results are done and we know what the board looks like for next Kiwanis year, Art Riley will announce who's going to be counseling each district. The current board counselor for the Michigan district is Kathy Samansky, and she is in Erie, Pennsylvania. So she's from the Pennsylvania district. And so Kathy and Sarah maintain a nice relationship. A lot of people ask, what's the difference between Brian and the board counselor? And the easiest way that I can use to explain it, and this may help you as Lieutenant Governor. If you have any questions about Kiwanis protocol, Kiwanis policy, such as something would show up in the international bylaws, Kiwanis finances, where there's specific protocol that take place with financial packages, anything dealing with the international bylaws, rules, and regulation, that's your board counselor. So anything that would require a vote or a discussion at that board level. If it's an operations question, such as where do I find this on the web? How do I get more resources? We need some training. More of the roll up your sleeves and get down and dirty. That's a Brian question. That's a me question. So I currently work with Sarah on a lot of the ops side of things. And then Kathy provides advice, guidance, and counsel in terms of the big picture side of things. Some of our board counselors are very active in their involvement. Some of them are not. As you know, our Kiwanis International Board is international, and the Michigan district may be assigned a counselor who does not live in the United States. So between time zone differences and sometimes a language barrier, it may exist. I would say for the most part, all of the districts in the United States have a English-speaking board counselor and someone that lives in the United States. The typical Kiwanis International Board member has 3 or 4 districts that she or he counsels and stays in touch with, sometimes a little bit more, depending on that. The pattern that we typically follow is the international the international president-elect, so Art Riley currently. One of the districts that he counsels is always the district where his or her convention will be held. Convention in 2021 is in Salt Lake City, which is in Utah, and so Art is counseling the Utah-Idaho district. He's going to be there as part of his convention. And so a little pattern that emerges is wherever the convention is going to be held, typically the international president-elect has that as her or his district to counsel. So that's a quick snapshot of the who's who in the district. Next slide. I wanted to open this up and see if you had any questions, but also extend an invitation. If you've never been to the headquarters in Indianapolis, we are open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. You are welcome to come in. We have people in the building who can give you a tour. There's 112 employees that work in that building. And what you're seeing is the side of the building that faces the interstate. So that's the drive-by side. As the cars go by on the interstate in the morning, that's the side of the building that you see. It's a pretty cool office space. We have some definite showplace rooms where you can have your picture made. And then we have the cubicles where most of us work. Not attractive at all, but functional. So, but I wanted to open up and see if you have any questions about the international structure. Sue, I see a hand up.
Just so you know, the Kiwanis International office is off of 465 on Michigan Road. So it's very easy to remember that when you go to Indianapolis, you get off at Michigan Road for the Kiwanis International headquarters, which is pretty cool. And there are several there. We actually have a Detroit room. Which is where the Kiwanis was founded. There's a Detroit room. There's several different rooms. There's a lot of memorabilia in the office from Michigan because of the founding of the organization. So it is a pretty cool thing. And if you've never had a chance, I would, like I said, as long as you're there Monday through Friday, once this gets past us, this pandemic, stop in and say hi. It's a great place.
We also have a pin. Kiwanis is a pin trading organization. We love to collect our pins. So if you've done a tour of the building, you'll get a Kiwanis International building tour pin. So you get a pin to add to your collection. Rosemary typed that she's been to the office and has seen we call it the garden level. It's the basement. All right. We have a basement. But in that lower level, we have a couple of things that a lot of Kiwanians don't know about. Oh, Rosemary did not get a pin. I will have to send you one.
Me neither.
Kiwanians did not know
I don't
about. Oh,
either.
Sue. Sue, how did you not get a pin?
I don't know.
I mean, you're Sue Peterson. Like, how,
I don't know.
Larry, did you get a pin?
No, I didn't get a pin.
I don't have a
Okay.
pin.
Okay, I'm told. Noted.
You have to
Pins
send
for
a bunch
everybody.
of them out here.
Yep. So in that basement, so we are a pretty good contained office, but we have some two rooms that I love to show people. One is a recording studio. We have a full out recording studio in the office where a lot of our training videos are produced. We have a full television studio that you can get down there, but we have someone on our staff who is trained to work with all of that equipment and do the various videos that get produced. That you see, a lot of videos that are being produced on social media are mixed in that little room there, which is pretty cool. And then the other is we have a full copy center. So if you think walking into a Kinko's or somewhere where you can have, with the big long machines and papers going through, we have a full service copy center in our lower level that's run by Miss Mary. She's been with the organization forever. Yeah. But we do a lot of our copying and printing and binding in-house to save us a lot of money. There is one district office based in Kiwanis International. The Indiana district office is actually in the building, and Tammy Miner is the district secretary there, and they lease two rooms. So it's a main office space, and then they have a storage room. But if you ever come and visit and you see Indiana district, they're headquartered right at 3636 Woodview Trace. So they're with us. We also have a fun staff break room. We have a lot of training, multi-purpose rooms. But Sue mentioned the Detroit room. We have 3 multi-purpose conference rooms that our staff can reserve, and they are the Detroit room, the Chicago room, and the Indianapolis room. Detroit paying homage to where Kiwanis was founded. Chicago paying homage to one of the first locations was, and then Indy being the home office now. So, and fun fact about Indianapolis, outside of Washington, D.C., there are more nonprofits headquartered in Indianapolis than any other part of the country. And that's because the state of Indiana does not charge property taxes for nonprofits to maintain a facility. So Kiwanis, along with Future Farmers of America, many fraternities and sororities, other professional associations, if we have a footprint, a standalone building, we do not pay property taxes in the state. And as you know, that can save us a lot of money. So there's a great think tank of like-minded people in Indianapolis in that metropolitan area. So what kind of questions?
They also have a full-service shipping
Yes.
area. So, when they get ready for Kiwanis International Conventions, the semis come in, they load the semis, packages go in and out of there through FedEx or UPS or mail, whoever. And they have a full area there as well. So it's, pretty much, and the Kiwanis Children's Fund is there as well, in addition to Kiwanis International, Key Club, Circle K, and everybody else.
We work in an open space environment with cubicles. There are exceptions. Human Resources has a closed office. Stan, our executive director, of course, has a closed office. The Kiwanis Children's Fund, they have some offices that are closed, meaning they have doors and full walls. There's no partial wall. They're on the phone with donors talking about gifts and so forth. So we do have some areas that are private, but I'd say about 80% of our workspace is all shared open space, which ironically is having to be rethought through right now with Chris. And when our staff does get to go back to work, what does that look like? So, yeah, go ahead.
Let me make a comment, and if somebody else wants to throw something in. I have occasion quite often to call down to Kiwanis International for help and get answers and things like that, and just almost universally, they've been very responsive, quick to get back to you. And so I'd recommend that any of you that have any questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to call down there. And 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 ask for help, whether it's the membership services line or somebody's in a specific department, and they've always been very responsive to me.
Yes. Yes. And if there's a phone number to remember, it's 1-800-Kiwanis, literally 1-800-Kiwanis. That rings to Miss Carla's desk. And Miss Carla is our main receptionist as you walk in the building. And
she's great because her last name is Smith.
It is Smith, yes. And Miss Carla has heard it all. So no question is a dumb question. She has heard it all. And she will funnel you to the right person to keep you from getting transferred and transferred and transferred. If you forget the 1-800-Kiwanis, you are always welcome to call me. I'm glad to be your first point of contact. And I don't like transferring you around. I'd rather call you back with the information that you need. I know what that's like to be on hold and you're like, son of a gun. So I will do my best to give you whatever support you need. And it could be everything from, hey, Brian, I need 25 more membership brochures. How do I get those? Rather than sending you online, just give me your address. I'll send, I mean, really. So Larry and I pretty much know I've shipped a lot of stuff to Larry before. So just go there. Nancy's like, I know.
Brian, one question, Brian. For those that are trying to get into our shared space with all the documents and stuff like that, do the members need to have, do they need to have a Kiwanis? Do they need to be signed in through the Kiwanis portal, or do they not need to?
For the
SharePoint
folders?
Yeah.
No, that it's open. That should be open to anyone.
Okay, that's what I thought. We've had a couple people that have had trouble getting in, and I thought I'd check to make sure, but I didn't think so. Yeah.
So what I can share with you is, like any business, we have a firewall, right? We've had some connectivity challenges since we're not in the office, and so many of our staff now are working remotely. We are all having to dial in essentially every single day, and between 9 and 9:15 every day, our ability to access files at the headquarters comes to a snail's pace. It's like we're all logged on at that time, and so Stan has actually asked our staff to stagger our start times.
Yeah, Brian.
It's 4th and down. We got a punt.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
On the SharePoint, if you already have your own SharePoint that you use for other things, I can't get it to go to the KI SharePoint. It won't allow me to, and it doesn't allow me to save it either.
I think what I found out is you have to open it in a different browser. So you have to close. You have to close your SharePoint that you're getting into all the time and open in a different browser or a different page than other SharePoint. Because I have to do that with Teams because of my access to the.
I'll have to try that, but I've logged out of my personal one, but I still don't seem to be able to get it to open. It always defaults to my personal.
Clear your cookies.
Who are my cookies? I
Yeah.
don't know. Nancy
Eat your
hasn't made
cookies, Larry.
cookies in
Eat
a
your
while.
cookies.
It may be bouncing back to your cookies.
Yeah, okay.
Get a glass of milk and eat your cookies.
I do know when I open it, it asks me if I want to use my personal one, and I just always try to exit that window because I've only accessed it on my phone, so it's been fine just clicking the link.
Okay, I'll have to play with it.
Sue and Fran, we may want to think about moving this to not a hard drive, but a Dropbox.
Dropbox, yeah, I was thinking
That might be an option.
Yeah, that would probably be better.
The other thing I may be able to do is, because I have such a big access for a space on Michigan State site, I may be able to open it up, into a Google Drive on Michigan State site, which will give me all the space we need to.
Yeah.
So I'll have to check. I'll check that out.
Yeah. So Fran, anything else? So I wanted to spend tonight, this is very high level. A lot of this, hopefully, yes, we know about Key Club. Yes, we know about, but wanted to just remind you about the Just the Facts document. That's great to give to a potential member. It's great to have a couple copies and some rehearsed speeches in your head. And we'll talk. But I'll be back. I'll be back several times. Yeah, Larry.
Are you able to ship supplies?
Yep.
Now?
Yep.
So if I talk to Gloria, I could put an order in for membership stuff.
Yep. Yeah, we just have to coordinate it. Our shipping receiving team is in the office, I think, just 2 days a week
Okay.
because of the situation. And so we would just need to coordinate it. But yeah, you could talk to Gloria and she'll make the arrangements. Yep, that's easy.
Okay. I was gonna, Cindy's got a whole stack of it, but she's in Switzerland, so it's hard for me to get them.
Yeah. Yeah, we can put together a care package and send it your way.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy though.
Oh,
He only wants 1 million of each, that's all.
yeah.
I know.
No.
What's your garage space look like?
Yeah.
Brian, this is my question, but maybe somebody else might be interested too. On Thursday night, they talked about youth protection and the Presidium training on the Thursday night call that Sue put together. Do you know where I would go for actually to view the Presidium training? Because I signed up for an account, but I have no idea where to go to actually see it. Do you know?
Let me find out and I'll email you. I need to.
I signed up for the account and then it came back, I got an email to where to go to do it, but I haven't done it yet.
I never got an email. It
Yeah, I
just
got
said,
an email back and it gave me my password and that stuff, but I haven't had a chance to, in fact, when I was looking at
maybe
my
that's my
emails,
problem. I haven't got an email.
yeah, because it came back to me like the next day.
Yeah, Greg, I saw your email about getting addresses. I'll get you their addresses.
Yeah, but okay, but if they may not have me signed up if I don't have an email back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check on it.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, and I'll follow up as well. I'll talk to Melissa tomorrow morning and see what she knows. So, cool.
Any other questions for Mr. Brian?
Quick.
No, but thank you for the great information. I like the numbers.
Yeah.
I know we have a K-Kids group through our club and we have 25 students and it's pretty enjoyable. This is our 3rd year doing it. So that was interesting to know how many clubs, that there's 19 K-Kids clubs in Michigan. So thank you.
Speaking of that, thank you for bringing that up. I've taken on the task of trying to organize the Builders Club contact list. And so I'm calling Kiwanis clubs to find out who their Kiwanis sponsor is for a Builders Club. And then I've got a key clubber calling the schools to find out who the faculty advisor is. And the whole purpose of this is to get communication going, but also try and find a Builders Club administrator for the state. So just if you know some information that can help us with Builders Club contact information, that'd be great. Or if you know somebody you think might be interested in looking at a Builders Club or a K-Kids for that matter, administrator, we could use both.
Okay. I want to remind everybody that last Thursday we did have the youth protection session with Melissa McCann and Michelle Studi Campbell. And that tape is available, or the recording is up on the Michigan District website, as well as on my personal website, or my personal Facebook pages, and Kiwanis' Facebook page. It was a great presentation. If you have a chance to watch it, it's very informational. There's information about the changes that have made to the system, and now that Michelle is and Melissa is on board, how they're moving forward with that program. But I would encourage you to take a look at that. We are scheduled to have them speak to us in a couple of weeks, but it may be something that if everyone will go ahead and take a look at, unless there's any major questions, it may be one that we can pass on our schedule and not have to get together that evening unless you would like to have more information. So that is out there if you would like to take a look at that. We will be putting up the presentation from International President-elect Art will be available here shortly. It's being recorded through the YouTube system, and then we'll put this up again tonight as well up into our portal for this point. So.
Hey, Sue, is the slides from youth protection, is that out there now?
They haven't sent, they were going to send them to me, and I haven't got the update yet.
Okay.
So I'll make a note to contact Melissa about those in the morning, or I'll send her an email. I know she had to make some changes to them. With that, on this Thursday, we have Chandler Maglish, who is the magician who was at the Kiwanis District Convention last year, will be speaking. He's going to do some magic for us on our Thursday evening Kiwanis Let's Talk version. And he's going to talk a little bit about how he can help clubs in the local communities raise funds once things get back going, and where our communities start opening up. So he will be on this Thursday. Next Thursday, there are two young ladies from the Pennsylvania district who are coming in to talk about, coming in, it makes it sound like they're coming into our room, but they are coming into our room. They're going to join us. They have a project called Operation Cupcake that they actually started when they were with Builders Club in Pennsylvania with Jen Barr. So they are going to come in and talk about that. They originally started making cupcakes in their community, and I think now because it's grown, they're doing washcloths into cupcakes with like notes for community health workers and stuff like that. So they're going to talk about that and how your club might be able to take that on as a project. They're just trying to track the number of cupcakes is all they are worried about. And then the week after that, the third week, we do have a licensed counselor coming on who will be online for Thursday to talk to us about dealing with the mental and the emotional aspects of the fact that we've been home for 5 weeks, what's happening with COVID, and we have someone coming in on that in 3 weeks from now. So we're pretty well scheduled up then. If there's anything in particular that you're looking for, please let me know. We'll do some tracking down and see what we can find. We're working at putting together a panel of specialists, so to say, that can come in and help us talk about, okay, once we get back and can start working out in the field again, what do we need to do as clubs? Where are our priorities and what we need to do? So we're working on that.
Right.
So that's about a month out. But we're averaging, last week we had over 75 people on the call on the webinar. So I was pretty happy with that, with those numbers. So we'll continue to manage that. And we had 22 districts represented last week.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So
you might want to, Brian, you might want to remind them about the next Wednesday's call from International.
the month call.
So the Wednesday, 1 o'clock, I heard it was supposed to be Stan and Daniel.
Oh, yes. Yes, it'll be a Facebook Live event. And Stan and Daniel will be reporting live from the Kiwanis International Board meeting.
Right.
And able to take some questions there. If you go to Kiwanis.org, our website, you'll be able to see the information how to participate in that. In which reminds the Kiwanis International Board is meeting this Wednesday, the 22nd of April. They're meeting virtually. No way we can get them together. And on the agenda is the international convention, what to do with it. President Danielle has already scheduled a call with Governor Sarah and her class on Thursday morning, so Thursday the 23rd. So whatever decision is made, the current governors will find out the morning after directly from President Danielle. And then it's up to the governor to disseminate the news out there, to district. So I honestly have no idea what's going to happen. Stan had a phone call with all of the employees, all 112 of us, on Friday, and we were all like, "What the hell?" And Stan doesn't vote on the board, right? He just presents data. And here's the facts, and the board makes the decision. And that meeting has not taken place yet. In all likelihood, if I were a betting man in Vegas, I would say the convention is not going to happen face-to-face. There will probably be some virtual options. Just because it's happening in downtown Indianapolis, hotels are being shut down. So we're watching a trickle effect. So, but I don't know.
I will place my money with you.
Yeah, I will too.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure some people are going to be able to fly in.
Right. Well,
That's the thing.
There's so many variables right now.
Yeah.
It's so hard to say. But do you know that Governor Sarah has been invited to a call Thursday morning with President Danielle Vigneron, and she'll get updates that morning.
She'll let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions?
You guys are beautiful. Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank
so our
you.
next
Thanks,
session
Brian.
is on Wednesday, and Greg is going to talk to us about the Michigan District and the operations that handle out of our district office in Mason, Michigan.
Go for it, Brian.
Woohoo!
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sue.
Thanks, Brian.
You're getting a
Brian.
magician in. You're getting a magician in. You've got cupcakes. You got a counselor. You got President Danielle and Stan, and then we got Greg. Okay.
We're gonna have to teach Greg how to turn his video on for next
Yeah.
Wednesday.
That's right.
Thank you, Rosemary.
That'll be a reason. That'll be a reason to be there. I will turn my video on.
And he does have his presentation done. I do have it, and it's already ready to go.
He said, yeah.
We're ready to go. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great.
Have a nice evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Else.
Hey, Brian, hang on for a minute if you can.
Yep, I'm here. Okay.